Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here, and after almost half a year, I'm finally doing a video on Book 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm sorry it's taken this long, but here we go! In this second season of Avatar, Aang, Sokka and Katara are carrying on their journey, now searching for an earthbending teacher for Aang. They luckily meet a little blind girl called Toph, who has amazing strength and skill as an earthbender, winning every tournament she enters. After tiring of living with her overprotective parents, Toph decides to join Aang's team and becomes his earthbending teacher. Meanwhile, Zuko is visited by his older sister Azula, who tricks him into thinking that his dad wants him home, but really, it's a trap. The Fire Lord actually wants to put his son in the dungeon. Zuko and Iroh are now enemies of the Fire Nation, so they decide to go undercover as Earth Nation citizens, and Iroh opens up a tea shop to help them make a living. Azula is now assigned to find the Avatar, and she's far more competent at it than her brother. While on their adventure, Aang and his friends discover a Fire Nation secret. You see, it turns out that the Fire Nation are at their weakest during the solar eclipse, so our heroes must inform the Earth Nation King immediately. This season of Avatar exceeded all of my expectations, turning me from a fan of the show into a super fan. It explores the complexities of politics and war without ever talking down to its young audience, knowing that they're smarter than people think. But episodes still retain the show's distinct sense of humor too. One thing I love is how the season doesn't shy away from showing that this war isn't simply a good side versus a bad side situation. There's cockroaches in the nations that Aang is destined to save too, with corruption and propaganda prevalent in the Earth Nation in particular. There's a general who is tired of seeing his soldiers being killed, so he mercilessly forces Aang to reach his Avatar state for him, even at the cost of Katara's life. There's also the Royal Advisor, who is intimidating and brainwashing the Earth Kingdom into ignoring the reality of this war. These are people in top-tier positions who might mean well, but are letting their fear of the war drive them to desperate measures.
That's the infirmary, and those soldiers are the lucky ones. They came back. Every day the Fire Nation takes lives. People are dying, Aang. You could end it, now!
The season isn't trying to be nihilistic, it's just showing that these cultures aren't entirely innocent, and sordid authority figures aren't limited to the Fire Nation. When it comes down to it, the Fire Nation may be the most oppressive force in this world, but the biggest threat is war itself, and what it can drive people in command to do. Even though this season is trying to show how destructive and messed up war is, it doesn't want its audience to lose all hope, because this is still a story of a young boy trying to bring an end to all the pain and misery in the world. He needs to stay optimistic if he's going to take on the role of the Avatar. While it can feel blue about things at times, something as simple as a baby's birth makes him realize that innocence and love can exist in times of war. Speaking of Aang's role of the Avatar, this season centers a lot on the intensity of the Avatar state, how it's not simply just a superpower, but a strong force fueled by deep emotions. Aang has been having nightmares about how scary he was in the Avatar state, making him feel ashamed of this side of him.
Do you want to talk about it? Nah, just a nightmare. I was in the Avatar state, but I was outside my body watching myself. It was scary. I was scary.
There's a dark side to this supernatural gift of Aang's. The Avatar state may be a useful weapon against the Fire Nation, but it can't be used freely and easily. It's a beast that needs to be tamed. Hence why heroes can't just storm the Fire Kingdom while Aang is locked in Avatar state mode. Who knows what could go wrong if Aang can't control himself? One important plotline that demonstrates the flaw of the Avatar state is when Appa is kidnapped, bringing out Aang's worst fears and worries, leading him to anger and fury when he finally meets his beloved pet's thieves in person. Katara, who has shown concern for Aang's relationship with the Avatar state, doesn't get angry with Aang, but amazingly, simply comforts the boy with a loving hug, knowing that her friend needs to be soothed right now, not just for the safety of those around him, but also for his own peace of mind. It's this moment that really cemented my love for the character of Katara. She's such a compassionate and understanding girl. I mentioned Appa's kidnapping, and that's something I have to really praise. This season actually shows an episode that's dedicated to Appa's survival after being taken away from Aang. This is a character that cannot communicate in English, only roar or growl, yet this show's creators felt 100% confident in letting him have his own plot, and I have to respect this season for taking that risk. Appa is a fan favourite character for a reason. He's an endearing animal who does most of the hard work when it comes to our heroes travelling, but he's also got this sweet bond with Aang that shows the Avatar's love for animals. It's heartbreaking to see Appa apart from Aang, but even harder to stomach when we see how much brutality the poor bison faces, in a world where animals are exploited and harmed. Even though he faces all this pain and anguish, he still finds it in his heart to trust the more caring humans he meets, knowing that not all humans mean him ill will. This is one of Appa's most appealing traits, his innocence and desire for affection despite the cruelty that exists around him. But let's not forget that this season also introduces a brand new member to the team, an Earthbender called Toph. At first, Toph is reluctant to cooperate with her new friends, believing that teamwork is a sign of dependence, something that goes against her desire to prove that she can do things alone, and she can't understand why anyone would need other people's help. Luckily, of all people, it's Iroh who helps change her mind.
Always thinking you need to do things on your own, without anyone's support. There is nothing wrong with letting people who love you help you. Not that I love you, I just met you.
Once again, I love how Iroh shows compassion and understanding to others, even when he's working with Zuko to find the Avatar. Once Toph becomes less aggressive to her teammates, she proves herself to be an important member. Toph's Earth culture background plays a big part in the season because the gang travelled to many different Earth Kingdom cities, so Toph can explain customs and traditions that Aang, Sokka and Katara don't understand. Plus, she belongs to a highly respected family, which can help the team gain access through restrictive travel methods. Her Earth powers are truly exciting to watch in action too. She really knows how to put on a spectacle for audiences, but she's also very tactical and patient when it comes to planning attacks. Kids need to learn to slow down sometimes, so it's great that the show demonstrates a child practicing good patience and observation. One major story advancement that Toph provides, though, is how we learn that metal can be bent by Earthbenders, as it does contain elements of Earth. Of course, Toph doesn't find this easy, so there's a little self-doubt maybe, which is what makes her successful metal bending so awesome. She manages to do something that only a few Earthbenders can achieve. Someone like Toph, a blind little girl, would usually be portrayed as a damsel in distress in a TV show like this, but instead, she's empowered greatly, a true inspiration for blind children. It does make me wish that the DVDs came with an audio descriptive soundtrack for blind children. Remember how romance was a part of the first season? Well, this book is no exception. Love is in the air with this one too. Season 1 always made it clear that Aang has a big crush on Katara, but was always hesitant to say anything, so we weren't expecting something serious to happen. But then Katara was given a vague prophecy that made her consider Aang as a potential life partner. Season 2 expands on this. When the two are trapped in a cave, they discover that the only way out is by showing love in some way. What I love about this episode is its pure wholesome innocence. Aang realistically acts uninterested in kissing Katara, only because he's too shy to admit that he has feelings for her, while Katara takes offense to this, her reaction acting as a double layer, both feeling insulted and maybe a little disappointed. When they come to the conclusion that a kiss is their best bet for freedom, they relax and show a kiss that is genuine. Meaning that whenever the cave is brought up in discussion, the two blush. It's so cute. I love that the show is slowly taking its time with this romance, letting it happen naturally. Sokka has a more complex romantic arc to face. You see, even though he can be immature, responsibility is very important to Sokka, whether it means being the chief of his family's water tribe or the leader of our band of heroes on Aang's journey. So when he was bestowed with the job of protecting the Moon Princess, someone he developed strong feelings for, he ended up being cursed with guilt once she passed away. This is made evident when he sees the ghostly image of the princess in a swamp that projects people's past or future. How does this play into Sokka's romantic arc? Well, in an episode of Season 2, Sokka reunites with an old flame called Suki, but he can't go 1 minute without trying to defend or protect her. It's as if he can't be close to anyone again unless he's 100% assured that they won't be injured or killed, an impossible thing to expect. While he means well, a warrior like Suki finds this to be condescending, but she still admits her feelings for him. Unfortunately, Sokka doesn't want to become too attached to her because of what happened with the Moon Princess.
I can't.
I'm sorry.
No, you shouldn't be.
His romantic history has complicated his ability to connect with women. At first, I thought this was a tragic end to Sokka's love life, but maybe because of all the love and hope in the atmosphere after a baby's birth, Sokka ends up kissing Suki, a real romantic kiss. Can this relationship work? I mean, maybe something can blossom once the war is over. Even Zuko gets his own love story. Yes, Zuko. He goes on a cute little date. It's adorable seeing the grumpy prince trying to talk to a girl, clearly showing that he has no experience in this area.
You have quite an appetite for a girl.
Thanks?
But he does turn out to have a romantic side, using his firebending to put on a sweet gesture for his date. They do eventually kiss, but he knows that he can't take things further because of his secret. It's quite sad that it ends there, but man was it nice to see Zuko showing his gentler side, helping us to further believe that there's a good person deep inside him somewhere.
How was your night, Prince Zuko?
It was nice.
So what about our antagonists for this season? The characters who are supposed to make our hero's journey difficult. Our main villain for this season is Azula, Zuko's older sister, a manipulative and cruel woman who is much stronger than her brother, especially as she has the power to bend lightning. There's something really creepy about Azula. She's the kind of antagonist we love to hate, because she gets such a kick out of being evil. And we can never trust her word. Even as a child, Azula was really twisted and lacked compassion, making for one despicable little girl.
I still think our dad would make a much better Fire Lord than his royal tea-loving kookiness.
Azula is accompanied by her two friends, Mei and Ty Lee, who are both very loyal to the Fire Nation princess. Ty Lee is very cheerful and energetic, even for someone working for a cruel tyrant's daughter, always smiling and having goo-goo eyes over boys like Sokka.
Wads of wet fur. How delightful.
They're not wads, they're more like bundles. Or bunches? It's got an sound.
I think that's what makes her so frustrating as an antagonist. She's so youthful and happy even though she's trying to put an end to Aang's quest for peace. While she's not a talented firebender, she does have skills as an acrobat that give her advantages in combat, but her most annoying attack is chi blocking, in which she uses her knowledge of body points to immobilize her opponents, making benders unable to use their elemental powers. I can't count how many times I shouted at the screen when one of our heroes couldn't bend due to Ty Lee's chi blocking trick. Stop it! Mei is the opposite end of the personality spectrum, being more deadpan and dry-toned than Ty Lee. What makes her so unlikable is how she sees her mission from Azula as a chance for fun. She's easily bored, even when things are going well for her.
There really is no fathoming the depths of my hatred for this place.
May, your father was appointed governor. We're like royalty here. Be happy and enjoy it.
But the opportunity to hunt down the Avatar appeals to her, like an invite to a game. It's what makes her just as creepy as Azula. May is also highly skilled with weapons, most notably shuriken knives and hand arrows, throwing them with impressive accuracy. Like May, she can't firebend, but she uses her weapon talent to outmatch those who can bend, even coming close to almost killing our heroes this season. But Azula and her best friends aren't the only threats. Earthbenders Shinfu and Master Yu have also been paid to retrieve Toph for her overprotective parents. With Toph being a highly skilled earthbender herself, it makes sense that 2 earthbending talents, both of which are considered to be top-tier elemental masters, are assigned to be her bounty hunters, making us fear that she may be outmatched. Plus, with Aang only being a trainee earthbender, it does make things very difficult. They may not have any prior relationship, but they both want the money, so it's important that these two put their egos aside to work together, because they can't obtain the cash reward unless they unite. They make for an effective team, even coming very close to capturing Toph before she masters metal bending to escape. Now, I know that all of you want me to talk about Zuko's character arc throughout this season. I see you, eager to hear my thoughts on Zuko's transformation in Series 2. One thing I wondered while watching Book 1 was where did Zuko's compassionate side come from, considering he had been surrounded by cruel and malicious firebenders all his life. Book 2 answers that question by introducing his mother Ursa, a kind soul who taught Zuko empathy.
Want to see how Azula feeds turtle ducks?
Zuko, why would you do that?
If that's the case, why did Zuko become consumed by darkness and sort of lose his sense of empathy? Well, one night Ursa left, without giving a reason why, leaving Zuko under the thumb of his father. What's important about Book 2 is that once Zuko realizes that his father is still ashamed of his son, he does try to go on his own path, even one without Iroh at one point.
Uncle, I thought a lot about what you said.
You did? Good, good.
It's helped me realize something. We no longer have anything to gain by traveling together.
This is what I love about Zuko's character arc. His self-improvement doesn't happen overnight. It's a really realistic take on self-growth for someone like Zuko, a boy who has been brainwashed into thinking that compassion is a sign of weakness. Not only can he not simply show innocent victims of the Fire Kingdom's tyranny that he's a good person, because they can't trust him due to his Fire Nation background, but he still also thinks that his mission for finding the Avatar is his only key to happiness. So when Zuko comes really close to completing his mission, Iroh ends up helping him realize how futile and pointless this all is.
I know my own destiny, Uncle.
Is it your own destiny? Or is it a destiny someone else has tried to force on you?
He makes the brave choice of actually helping Aang by freeing a trapped Appa. You'd think that this means everything is hunky-dory now, but no. This isn't a simple change of heart, it's a brainwashed boy fighting all the years of gaslighting and abuse. When he does something good, something against his father's wishes, something that opposes everything he once believed, he feels genuinely sick and faints. Holy moly, did this moment make me respect the show even more. It's such a legitimate and genuine scene and handled so well. No cheesy sugarcoating or sudden happy resolution. No, just anger and confusion. He does eventually recover, making us believe that maybe this is it. Could Zuko happily live an undercover life in Iroh's tea cafe? Seeing Zuko, a boy who has been warped by an evil tyrant's parental abuse and narcissism, finally discovering a somewhat normal life and sharing it happily with his gentle, supportive uncle, who now runs a quaint tea cafe, is pure wholesomeness, the kind of hope needed for audiences. Sadly, Azula ruins all of this by manipulating her brother into returning to the dark side, giving him hope that maybe his father could be proud of him. Like I said, Zuko can't self-improve at the flick of a switch. Years of gaslighting are still there, and they can't be simply erased. Azula knows this, takes advantage of it, and we look on in disappointment as Zuko betrays his uncle Iroh. We've spent 2 seasons seeing Iroh being the only loving family Zuko has, so witnessing them falling out is heartbreaking. A real kick in the teeth too when Iroh was so close to helping his nephew heal. It makes us hate Azula even more, knowing how much damage she's caused to a beautiful family bond and Zuko's chance for redemption. Luckily though, Zuko is guilty of his actions. He does feel regret for what he's done, even though Azula assures him that the rewards will be great. Maybe, just maybe, Zuko will be saved in Book 3. When I reviewed Book 1 of Avatar The Last Airbender, a lot of people said, look, future seasons are even better, and I thought, how can you improve on this? It's so good! I was taken by surprise because Book 2 really surpasses Book 1. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, then feel free to like, subscribe and share. Also, feel free to support my channel by making a monthly pledge to my Patreon in return for awesome rewards. Thank you. Up next is Book 3 of Avatar, and I'm going to try my best to get this one done much sooner compared to this one. Cheerio, folks.